Anita, how's your mental health?
Questionable at all times. You know this.
Yeah, how's the mental health of your children?
Also a little bit tricky. Can I tell you my experience in trying to find therapists for myself and my kids, Mel?
Yes, please.
Okay, this is how it goes. You ask around your friends and your family for a referral for somebody who's nearby. You finally find somebody who sounds like they might work for your family. You give them a call and you find out that A, they're not accepting new patients, or B, they have a huge wait list. So you start over again and you ask people if they know anybody who would be a good therapist and a good fit. Finally, you find one, you go and you meet with them, and you figure out that you don't actually like them that much. But it's been so much work to find somebody who you can go to in your area that you're kind of stuck with them. Well, do you have any ideas for how to get around this?
I do because guess what? I've actually had some therapists that I have found on my own, which involves what you're saying. Sometimes I remember one time I was like 3 hours in the bathtub on my phone looking
Yeah.
through websites. I was such a prune at the end. But I have also had the experience with working with BetterHelp. And it was like, I don't want to say too good to be true, but because it is true, but it's like amazing because I was matched with my therapist within 24 hours.
And you didn't have to go through all of that other ridiculous process of trying to find somebody. And here's the cool thing too, is if that person didn't work out for you, you can just switch and say, and it's not like you're committing to another years long search for somebody who you're going to jive with.
It's true. And I lucked out, or maybe just BetterHelp is really good at matching people together because I never had to change my therapist. I loved her. Perfect fit for me. And I know that some of our friends have used BetterHelp and they've had to change therapists, and boom, same day, you can change.
Easy peasy.
You can ghost your therapist. Get a new one.
I love this idea. BetterHelp is one of our sponsors. If you use our promo code trybetterhelp.com/WWDN, you get 10% off your first month. And we totally recommend it.
Yes, get some therapy. That's trybetterhelp.com/WWDN. Anita, we survived. We're still alive.
Here we are.
This is the post-holiday shakedown.
Yes, and I'm shaking right now.
I am so curious how your holidays went, and also I would love to talk about yesterday.
Yeah, so we kind of promised you to have a new episode today, but then life.
It is a new episode. What are you talking
and
about?
I kind of forgot what was coming up. This is like a fake episode.
How is it fake?
It's not. So Christmas went really well, actually.
Good. Why?
That's a really good question. It just went well. I didn't feel too sad. I didn't have that feeling of like, this isn't how it's supposed to be, like I did last year. A lot of the sadness that came along with it and the excitement of my kids just really, like, we got swept up in it. And I didn't feel sad too much. So it was a good day. It was fun. I felt like the pandemic and not doing as many things actually helped also. It was a little bit more calm. I got to choose how we were going to spend our time. I didn't feel obligated to go to all the parties and all of the social events. And that took some pressure off, I feel like. So I could just focus on being with my kids and my family, So less social anxiety, less wondering if people are watching me, and trying to discern how I'm doing. So
That can get exhausting.
yeah. And I get in my head a lot like that. I'm like, they're probably thinking like, she's doing too well. She's not doing well. She's doing a terrible job. She's doing a great job. And they're wrong. I'm not doing a great job, So I'm bad at that.
Do you feel pressure to always be funny and always be okay at all times?
I feel pressure from different groups to have different responses, I feel like. But yes, I mean, I expect myself to be like that. I'm like, no, I'm fun. And so when I don't feel like being fun, then I just am like, I don't want to be around you because I'll get tricked into being fun.
And then you'll be tired.
And then I will feel like I'm out of alignment with how I'm really feeling. So.
Well, I'm very glad to hear that it went well and smooth.
Yeah.
That's great. Yay.
Yeah, I felt more in control of my own destiny.
Your destiny.
My destiny was fulfilled. Ah. And my kids were really nice, which is not typical.
What?
I know.
Anita, you guys, the apocalypse is going to be nigh because that's never happened.
Yeah, it was just a good day. How was your Christmas?
Very mellow. I did not have any expectations for myself. I didn't leave my couch, much like Thanksgiving. And my friend Anita, aka my widow wife, brought me some ham as she promised. Do you remember that?
Yeah, you have to have some Christmas ham. It's so funny because I left my kids in the car to bring you the ham. And remember how I was just saying they were nice? I came back out to the car and they were all like, "Wah!" Like beating on each other.
Oh,
and I was like, "We will go home right now and you will get no more Christmas presents if you don't stop fighting with each other." So there was that. But I'd forgotten about that till right now.
Oh, how funny. Well, yeah, so now you have to redact what you just said.
Okay, yeah, but on a balance, they were better than they normally are.
I'm so glad to hear that. Here's what I did not expect. Because my anniversary, which, by the way, we totally forgot to talk about my anniversary.
We did?
Last time. Yeah, because remember I had my sister in the hospital and my dog in the hospital.
It's a lot.
Okay, like too long didn't read is because that week was so traumatic. My anniversary was great. It was my best anniversary so far, and I felt happy and good, and I felt like Scott was sending hugs from heaven, and I felt fine. It was a great day, so yay.
And we had tacos that were terrible.
Yes, and you visited me. It was so great. And you gave me a wood decoration. Here's my conundrum every single time. Every time. Whenever I expect something to be horrible, it's fine. And vice versa. I don't get it. So because my anniversary was mellow and awesome and even positive, I thought Christmas was just going to be fine. I didn't put too much thought into it. And Christmas came and went. And to be fair, it was mellow. It was not crying and dramatic and all that stuff. But my body felt feelings, and I didn't expect that. So I was fine, but I also was feeling kind of the weight. And I don't know, I guess your cells just remember things. And so that was what I was experiencing. But guess what I did to remedy it? I played Harry Potter Lego on the Switch for 8 hours. I guess that's my go-to. I didn't know this before I became a widow, but I can zone out super hardcore with Nintendo, and somehow it helps my brain restructure, and then I'm fine. And that's all I've been doing the whole break, and now I'm on Harry Potter year 6.
You're almost graduated.
I'm telling you, that is how much Nintendo I've played. They take forever.
Your thumbs are going to fall off.
I know. I've actually been scheduling breaks for myself. So.
Scheduling breaks from your Nintendo.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. Today was the first day my kids went back to school. And so they have been home for the last 2 weeks. And I feel like I was kind of living through a bombing or something. I just had to kind of like hunker down and live through it and get to the other side. But it was also an overall positive time. I thought we had a lot of fun times as a family and we got together fairly well. Could have been worse. Could have been better.
Yeah.
But my kids went to school today, and right after school started, I got a call from my daughter having a panic attack. So I had to go to the school and like calm that down. I was like, no, I was so hopeful because she's been really good over the break, just not having a lot of panic attacks. And so I was hoping that she kind of had a reset, but nope.
Is it the type of thing where school is a main trigger? And so she's going to have to maybe stay home a little more and work through things. How is that working?
I had a long talk with her school counselor today, and the new semester is about to start. And so he was like, we can do classes online. We can do like half and half. So I think that's what we're going to end up doing is doing half of her classes at home and then half of her classes that are harder to do online, like band, and things like that at school.
Yeah.
So
good. I was thinking about that this morning, and I wanted to ask you about it because what if she starts doing well and she wants the social aspect? Will they let her just show back up anytime?
Yeah, I think so. And they've just been really good. I've been surprised at how supportive they've been because I thought they would just be like, get it together. The thing about her is that she's always excelled in school. And so there's clearly something's gone wrong. It's not like my other kids who are crappy in school all the time. So I think there's a little more understanding because you can kind of see like, oh no, something like has happened. This is not just somebody who's being lazy or,
And also, I mean,
doesn't want to work.
your dad dying is one thing, and your dad dying when you are a teenager or a preteen is huge.
Yeah, 12. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And quite honestly, I kind of feel like it's taken her this long to really start to understand and start to grieve in ways. Like before this, it was just kind of an adrenaline type of a thing, which I can totally understand. And so I kind of feel like it's just barely really hitting her how life is going to be and that she misses her dad and that it's just stupid. So,
dang it.
I know. So, Mel, have you accomplished anything useful or are you seriously just playing Nintendo all the time?
I don't know why you think playing Nintendo is not useful, but thanks. I'm just kidding. No, I've actually been doing a ton of work. I've been learning how to be able to do the Nintendo and also be really productive in small chunks and kind of have goals. But one thing that I started doing, and it kind of was random, I just have been thinking about everybody's stress and everybody needs relaxation, and not just us widows, but the whole world, right? Everybody's learning how crazy the world is with this pandemic. So I started to make a YouTube channel of relaxation and meditation tracks.
Okay, did you write those songs?
Yes, I just sat down and I like piano vomited.
Really?
Yeah. It's weird. I know.
Piano vomit.
Here's the thing. I mean, it's not what I usually do. As a musician, you always do several different kinds of styles, and so I've gotten used to kind of being versatile with those things, but I haven't specifically on purpose done relaxation music because honestly, when I'm playing it, then I want to fall asleep.
I was just going to ask that. Like, do you like find yourself laying on the keyboard and then it makes like a big noise and that's not relaxing?
Basically, yes. Yeah, so I started doing those. So I'm going to put them up. They've been up. I have 4 1-hour songs already and I started 5 days ago. So I'm doing it to help our grieving community, and also it helped me, which was surprising for me because I have a complicated relationship with music. I'm creating it all the time, so I think about it in a different way. So yeah. I've been thinking about your situation and you having kids that are going crazy at night and having trouble sleeping, and your daughter having panic attacks, and I have a niece that has had some trauma from Scott's death still, I think, and kind of the same thing, just like big, huge adult problems, but they're kids and some trouble sleeping. And so I've been thinking about everybody that we talk to in our group and the people in our lives. So I decided to keep those people in mind when I'm making them. And so I have them for all of you for free.
For free. It's for free.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Have you tried them yet?
I have listened to a couple of them, and my feedback is that I'm glad that they're both relaxing and beautiful, because if it was just one or the other, I don't think I would have subscribed to your channel.
Well, thanks for subscribing. Will you leave a comment?
Yes.
I'll write a comment back.
I think I already did. Didn't I?
I don't know. I got to check.
I was like, best widow wife ever or something.
Did you? So, yeah. If anybody is interested in relaxing music from YouTube for free, I will put it in our show notes. But they're going to be different things. So there's stuff they all have piano in them, but some of them are more muted piano, like with ocean waves and ambient rain and things like that. So
can I play like the wind flute?
Yes.
Sometime for one of them?
The Native American flute.
Is that what it's called?
Or maybe a didgeridoo. Hey, Liz, Aaron, everybody.
Nothing didgeridoos are they relaxing? Maybe they can
For
be.
some people. I think they're droney, and so things with drones are calming. So, yes, Anita, the answer to your question is I've actually done something that's not Nintendo or dogs. Guess what? Guess what I just got today?
Not another dog.
No, but it has to do with dogs.
I was like, what?
3 guesses, go. 1.
A new dog toy.
Basically, sort of. Try another refining guess.
A refining question. Does it squeak?
No, not really. It shouldn't.
Sometimes we assume that unless we had a huge life insurance payout, we don't really need to know anything about investments or even finances. But guess what? A little knowledge of finances is critical for all of us. Maybe your partner was in charge of that stuff, and now you find yourself making all the decisions. Maybe you're mad about that. Maybe I am. Nicole from the He's Gone But the Money's Not podcast is here to help. She tackles financial literacy by telling the stories of women and widows and finance experts and shares the lessons they've learned as certified financial planners. Whether you know a lot and feel confident in your financial decisions or feel unsure about all of that stuff, there is more to learn. Listen and subscribe to the He's Gone But the Money's Not podcast on all podcast platforms. This ad was paid for by Rockhouse Financial, an SEC-registered investment advisor. Can it fit in a bread box?
No, definitely not.
So it's a large toy.
It's a large toy. It's not even a toy, but sort of. It has to it's an activity. It goes along in the same vein of things that you do in your life, like exercising and running, but it has to do with dogs. What do you think it is?
Is it a doggy bike?
Kind of.
It's a doggy treadmill.
It is. Woo! You win. You know why? I'm going to train Finn to run with you.
Okay, good.
On the treadmill.
Dead birds.
Nope.
That's where we're going.
Anita, you have had a thing happen yesterday. And the reason why we did not record yesterday was because of this, because I didn't want to bother you. Would you like to talk about it?
Yesterday was not but Jason's second deathiversary. Death day. D-Day. So, yeah, that kind of consumed the whole day. And there were lots of feelings and there were lots of hard things. And then at the same time, it sometimes just feels like the same day. Or not like same day, but just a regular day. Things still happen. You still have to do stupid stuff like brush your teeth and feed your kids and all of those things. But I felt like it turned out pretty well. And we kind of had a little gathering at the cemetery, which is totally against the rules in so many ways. Because you're not supposed to, the cemetery is closed at dark, but it gets dark at 3 p.m. So anyway, and a bunch of people showed up and it was nice because I do feel like Jason's done. People are done with Jason being dead. You know, there's just a few people who still actively keep his memory alive. So it's really hard. It's super hard to feel that way.
Do you feel like it's kind of another level of death for you? Yeah, in a way, because the way somebody stays alive when they're dead is through people's collective memories. And so when a lot of those people kind of fall away and the collective memory is so far on the back burner of their brains that it's, not even there, basically, the collective memory shrinks. So it feels like they're gone. They're further and further gone. And it makes you realize that in the future, there will be a point where they're all the way gone. It breaks my heart to think about 10 years from now and that almost everybody will have moved on. And to a certain degree, I think that I will be there too, where you don't think about them every day and you're not remembering the memories. They're not coming up as much. We don't talk about them in everyday life and things like that. So it's hard. And that, I mean, for people that are not in the situation and you're on the outside looking in, that's what makes sense to be like, well, aren't you over it yet? Or aren't you moving on? And it's not like you do. Obviously, it's been 2 years for you, 3 years for me. Yeah. And so we're still babies in the journey, but it's hard. These are hard things we have to think about and deal with.
But not according to other people. 2 years is a long time for a lot of people. From the outside world, like in all the widow TV shows, they're like, it's been a year. You should be remarried by now. You should be, looking for love. So a lot of people feel like that's a long period of time. But for us, it does not feel like a long period of time.
Correct. Our time frame, I feel like it expands by at least 3.
It's like magnification, like you see those pictures of cornflakes magnified by a factor of 100. Yeah.
My pre-spousal death self totally understands why people act how they do and react how they do. And my post-spousal death self understands. Of course, this is a very slow time for us. What I've been actually thinking about our friend, the fancy lady Joy, because she was saying that she took about 10 years to kind of settle and figure out some
Yeah.
stuff. And so that helps me to feel a lot better. So thanks, Joy, for
Gives you a
being
little
our
bit
sensei.
longer timeline.
Yeah, because it's easy to just feel guilt, like rush, right?
Yeah. Well, and people are starting to ask me more about Jason's headstone. Like, we went to the cemetery yesterday, and all the people who died after Jason all have headstones. And I was writing a letter to Jason. I wrote a bunch of letters, just like brain vomit to him. And I was saying, I owe you a headstone. I hope you're not mad that I haven't gotten one for you yet, because I just want it to be so perfect. I just want it to be so right. I just want it to encapsulate you as a person and help everybody to know how special you are. And then I was like, but inadvertently what I've done is the opposite, because you're the nameless person at the cemetery, while everybody else has at least their name there, and you can't even see your patch of grass anymore. And that was kind of poignant for me. It kind of hurt. I was like, man, that's not what I've intended, but that's kind of what's happened.
That's so interesting you put it like that. It's true.
Yeah.
But it's also like,
Yeah.
I get what, it's like the weird duality of grief, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's another facet of that.
Yeah. And I had a friend, and he was like, Anita, you've had enough time. Like, what do I need to do? How are we going to do it? And I was like, I get 6 years. That's what I told him. And then you can take over and do it for me if I haven't done it in 6 years.
I have a question.
What?
What if you had a headstone, but it was blank, but you were able to put different things on it? Like those boards where you can change. What are they called?
Like the letter boards?
Yeah. What if it's like a letter board, and then you can change it based on how you're feeling?
Interesting. I don't know. I'll have to think that one through. That would be kind of cool. But you know what would happen is, number one, the letters would all get stolen. Or number two, I would never remember to go change it.
Another idea. Maybe you could start a business. Digital headstones.
Ooh, I have thought of a headstone with a QR code on it, so that they can like watch a video of the person. But I don't know if people would really do that. But seriously, it hurt my heart when I went up there and I saw all of the headstones decorated with Christmas and, lights and like, we love you. And I was like, and you just have some grass. Sorry. I really do love you, even though it doesn't look like it.
Do you think that Jason cares?
Mm-mm. I don't. But again, my reasoning for not getting the headstone is because I want to do him honor.
Yeah.
And so by not doing it, it's just the very opposite to the world.
It's so weird, right? It's like two different versions of life and looking at life.
Yeah.
Anita, I really love what you did on social media. Do you want to talk about it?
Yeah, I just asked people to take a picture of themselves with a mustache and post it on there and tag me and tag Jason. It's just a way of saying, like, does he still matter to you? And it's kind of funny because in the beginning of the day, and I wasn't getting any messages, and I was like, see, nobody cares. But they came in throughout the day, and it really did help me to feel better. And actually, I got a lot of messages from people who listen to the podcast or follow me on Instagram, or people in the Widow Wives Club.
Oh, you guys!
I know. And I understand that, because people who are in our shoes realize how much that means. And so they're like, I didn't even know him, but I'm going to take a picture with a mustache on me, and I'm going to send it to Anita, who I don't even know,
I know, you guys, that was so awesome to see. Thanks for doing that for my widow wife.
Yes.
Anita, are you upset that I didn't do it on social media and that I just texted it to you?
No, I actually got a lot of people who did the same thing, who sent me emails or just little messages. And what matters is that I got to see it, right?
Yeah.
It wasn't like a contest to, see how popular he is or whatever. It just was like, nope, he mattered, or I matter to people, I guess.
I like that. I like that you chose to do that, because I thought it was a fun thing. It honored Jason and it supported you.
Yeah. And it was pretty easy.
Yeah. Like our episode where we talked again to the fancy lady about leaving a legacy, that it can be so overwhelming. I love what you did. I thought it was like brilliant.
Thank you. It was such a weird day, though. I felt my body gearing up for it. in the days before. And it's like you were saying before, it's like our bodies are storing that information because I started finding myself getting irritable and not being able to think straight and just really kind of like finding myself wondering what I was doing in the kitchen. You know, like what am I supposed to be doing? And it's like, no, you're starting to get ready for this big day. And then that whole day I felt like I was walking through just this really thick fog. Just felt like a weird day, and really I couldn't think very well, and I was, distractible and just weird.
Do you feel a difference, a marked difference between yesterday and today?
No. I feel a little bit of hope because the third year is supposed to be where life begins to be better. I don't know, supposed to in quotes. I did feel a big difference between when the first year anniversary came, because you were done with that year of firsts and you didn't have any of those things to look forward to. Like, this is the first time that I'm going to be having Easter without him. I didn't have to do any of those. So I did feel a big difference, but I didn't feel that same difference this time.
Nice.
So I don't know if that's good or bad.
I think it just is. First are hard. It's like everything is so new and you don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah. But I felt a lot of relief at the end of the first because I felt like I was always in a, what are those called? A spook alley?
A haunted house.
That's not what they're called. A haunted house. Just waiting for the scary clown to jump out at every corner because I hadn't done it yet. I didn't know what I was looking forward to. I didn't know what was going to be hard. I didn't know what was going to jump out at me and make me pee my pants. So after I'd gotten through that year, I was like, okay, at least I've done that. And I've experienced all the big holidays and all of the big events. And now I don't have to be as scared, if that makes sense.
That makes sense.
I mean, there's still lots of firsts that are going to happen. It's not like all the firsts happen in the first year.
You'll have the first second year and the first third year. Everything is still first.
Well, like, for instance, one of my kids is going to be baptized this year. And that's something that dads usually do in our church. So that's going to be a first, is that it's going to be really hard to not have Jason there for that. So that will happen, 3 years after he died. But that was just for instance.
Well, may the force be with you.
Thank you. And
best wishes and blessings.
And mele kaliki maka.
Yes. Do you have any New Year's resolutions? Do you do those kinds of things?
I do have one New Year's resolution. And it's so stupid.
What?
I got to the end of the year and I looked on my GPS watch that I use when I run and I bike. And I looked at my stats and I was like, I know I ran more than that. And I know I biked more than that. And I didn't record any of my swims. And so I'm like, this year I'm going to record them all. So when I get to the end of the year, I can be like, I swam 30 miles.
Well, whatever. Anita, you did just get the COVID vaccine. So maybe it will track all of that for you.
I hope so. That's what I'm hoping for. My watch told me that I ran 800 miles, 890 miles last year. But that's not enough. I know I ran more than that.
I drove that much, at least.
I probably didn't because I hate driving so much.
I love driving.
I know.
Oh, we're so opposite. We're like the perfect puzzle.
That's why you have to drive me places.
I know, I will. So I don't really ever do resolutions because they're kind of too, I don't know what the word is. I frame them strangely in my mind and then I don't do them on purpose. Okay, here's my goal for myself. It's really easy for us as humans to, when we set goals, to then put ourselves in the future. And then while we're thinking in the future, even though we're in the current state of things, it takes us out of the moment and so much in the future that then we get anxiety that we are not doing the correct things and that we are not at that point in the future. I know that we all do this. I am going to work on that this year. So when I feel anxiety, I'm going to think, okay, am I feeling this feeling because I have set these goals for myself and I'm not in the present moment taking the necessary in the moment steps? Does that make sense? So that's just kind of a general thing. And I guess that kind of explains why I suck at New Year's resolutions, because I try to attain them in the moment and I can't.
That's why I set the goal that I set, is because I was like, I need to set something that I can achieve with not very much effort. So I can feel like yay, Anita, you tied your shoes today. Kind of a, instead of being like, I am going to eat completely healthy and I am never going to go to bed late and I am only going to study the Bible all day long.
Oh my gosh, boring.
And I'm going to feed the homeless children, and I don't even feed my own children, so that's kind of a stretch. Yeah. But, I'm going to lose 40 pounds because that would be bad. All the things that people usually do. But the new year does kind of give me a sense of renewed, okay, this is a new time. You get to be in control of where you're heading and try and head in a better direction if you can.
Be mindful of where you're at and adjust accordingly, perhaps.
Yeah.
What are some of your all's New Year's resolutions or goals? Tell us.
Comment below.
Comment. Subscribe.
Hit subscribe, yeah.
Since we are just kind of catching up from the holidays and Anita's recovering from her second deathiversary, this is our episode today. So next week, stay tuned for an interview in addition to our blah blahiness.
And it's going to be an exciting interview. We'll do our Patreon shout out next week when we have a full episode with an interview. And still check out the Widow Wives Club. And you can still join our Patreon, even if we haven't done our shout out.
Yeah.
Oh, what? I just barely got the shirts in. So, I'm going to start mailing them out. If you've wondered if I just stole your money, yes.
She did.
I stole your money. But actually, they just came a little bit after Christmas. So,
yes.
You can expect to see yours in the next 4 to 12 months when I get around to going to the post office.
And fun fact, if you join our Patreon at the dead husband level, you actually get a t-shirt. No matter where you live, because
Lucky
I know
duckies.
Patreon has international shipping that's super easy, and we don't have to fulfill it. And that's why the people that paid Anita have not gotten their shirts, because we have problems, and it's just hard. Anyway.
It's because I have to, but I wrote your names on labels with your addresses, except for our international friends. I got to get in touch with them and figure out how we're going to do that.
Yay.
Anywho, I'm glad I remembered to say that.
Good job. Well, it's good to see you, Anita, alive.
You too. Yes, Mel.
Thanks for showing up today.
You're welcome. Thanks for being you, Mel.
Thanks. I try.
And being in the moment. Okay, I'll let you go now so you can get back to Harry Potter Lego.
No, and now I got to go put my dog treadmill together. I'm half done.
Oh, okay, cool.
I bet our widow friend Dawn totally gets me right now because she's a dog person like me. Hi, Dawn. Tell me if you approve of my dog treadmill idea.
I'm so curious to see how it goes. I want a video. By the way, I'm Anita.
I'm Mel.
We're just two young widows who survived the holidays and are here for you again. And we're trying to figure out widow we do now.
This is my favorite thing to discuss with you.
Tell me, what is it?
One of my favorite things. I do enjoy tacos and cheese and dogs. This is about how you cannot pay hundreds and hundreds of dollars for a phone plan, especially when you're a widow, your person is dead, you might have kids, you might need another option, and you just want your phone to work, you want unlimited texting and service, and you want it to be like $25 a month.
It blows my mind that they have plans that start at $15 a month. That is so cheap. And the cool thing is it uses other 5G networks, and so you don't have to pay extra for that, and you still get great service.
Yep, Anita and I have traveled all over, and I have used my phone. So I highly recommend it, and my mom's even on it. When my dad died, we put his phone down to the cheapest plan, which is $15 a month. And I think my mom's on the $20 a month plan, and it's so worth it. It's so much cheaper than what we were all paying before. So I highly recommend it if you're on a budget or not. Who cares? Ryan Reynolds is in charge of the company, and they send you free stickers with Ryan Reynolds temporary tattoos. It's kind of the best. So if somebody wants to sign up, what can they do, Anita?
Go to trymintmobile.com/WWDN. Seriously, you guys. Such a great idea. Save yourself some money.
And if you're worried about losing data or having any changes with your phone, not going to happen. They walk you through it. Everything's fine. It's the easiest process of all time. Again, that's
trymintmobile.com/WWDN.